is going to be a sponsor here too, and we are really happy and excited about it. And it means innovatively, something new, something that you imagine. You know, there's nothing impossible; it just hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? And so when we be able to deal, as Dan did the inimitable job of bringing this fight here with the great USC, it's the thing of snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat. You know what I mean? When all is weary and everybody is downtrodden and feeling that they was distraught and they can't rise to the occasion, those who have faith and abiding faith will change that. They'll make the mountain move, you know, in the twinkling of an eye. So this is what we have done, and I'm so happy that I have Eventus that's going to be with us with this dynamic, innovative, imaginative mind of making events, and dealing with geometric progression rather than just 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 2 is 22, and it grows to 44 and 68, you know what I mean, and on, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm just happy. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you,
You know what I mean? You know, and it's, when you say Daniel, you have to feel good because Daniel is the great prophet, you know what I mean, that was in the fall of Babylon, you know what I mean, and dealing how it was and how he could prognosticate and speculate, not by just dreaming, by being involved spiritually, you know what I mean, and the Lord and Savior would give him the word, so it was not a dream, it was seen that it had to have happened. But this is what had happened here when we got this young man here from Montreal, Canada. He's a terrific individual. He's a Lebanese. You know what I mean? That just shows you, no matter what the title may be of what may be, is what people have in their hearts and their minds and their characters, and not the pigmentation of their skin. But the idea of it is he's terrific. He made things happen when we had the darkest hour. You know what I mean? He emulated and imitated Churchill when he said, you know, you fight him on the beach, you fight him in the air. You know what I mean? You fight him at sea, but he shall never, never surrender. You know what I mean? That's what this young man did. And I want to bring him up. He's the manager of that terrific fighter sitting here from Haiti. You know what I mean? And the president of Haiti and all of them there, they're all standing by, you know, the Secretary of State. Everybody's going to be it. It's going to be a great international affair. And so, but let me bring up Camille Estefan. Come on, Camille. This is a great man and great beautiful thing goes in him. Thank you, Camille. Ah, ça va bien, ça va bien.
Hello, everyone. Needless to say, the stakes are high. It's been a long, long time coming. We worked very, very hard to make sure Bermane is where it's at today. It took a lot of heart, it took a lot of guts, and this is what it's all about. What you're about to see is not only history in the making. I truly believe these are the 2 best heavyweights in the world today that are about to fight again. It's a sequel. The first fight was a fantastic fight. Well, I haven't seen too many tougher people than Chris Arreola. So I have to tell you, this was quite impressive.
That's Seth Mitchell.
But we plan to take this home. I mean, we're very focused. It's the green belt. That's all we want. We're very confident. We're working very hard. We're paying our dues, like we always have for years. And they're the top 2 heavyweights. You're going to have a fantastic show. There's a lot of theater going on with other heavyweights out there. I don't want to mention names, but you know what I'm talking about. And this is where the real deal is. I want to congratulate Don as well, and Victor Vergotsky, Don House and Victor Vergotsky, who have been Bermane's coaches from day one, through thick and thin, with all the difficulties we've had. All the best to Vitaly with what he's doing with Ukraine, which is quite considerable for the humankind. Very happy for him to be recognized as a politician now, but we did wait a long, long time for that decision to happen. So I think America deserves this heavyweight fight. Thank you to ESPN for bringing it to all these residences and stepping up to the plate, and for the state of California to have us. Great hospitality. We'll make a great show out of this one. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Camille. And now the man that's there is right here that's going to come back and pay a response to the dynamic trainer of Chris Arreola. Come on up here. Come on up here. Come on. I want you to be star-studded, baby. You know what I mean? I want everybody to bear witness to this because, like I said, it ain't no loser. But this is the most important fight for this side to win so that we can take the heavyweight around the thing and then we give him another chance, you know, later. You know what I mean? Because we don't want nothing, no discrimination. We don't want to do none of that. Give everybody opportunity and the land of opportunity. But we got to be prepared, you know what I mean? You prepare, you know, to succeed or you prepare to fail. Here's the man that's in the preparation business and he's doing it to death. Talk to him, people.
USC.
Yes!
Yeah. ESPN.
Yes!
Lucen.
Hey!
James. Henry.
Hey!
My man Chris. Of course, our team. May 10th. Actually, I thought the fight was in June, so Brent, we got to get ready. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. It's going to be an exciting fight. I'm looking forward to this. I know Henry's doing a great job over there with Chris. To me, Chris has always been one of my idols, always been one of the toughest guys on the market. When they said we was going to fight Chris again, I went, oh shit, not him. I mean, I would rather fight both brothers, Christopher brothers, to fight this guy again, but you know what? We got to do what we got to do. This will be a great fight. I'm very, very looking forward to it. I'm sure their team are too. We've been preparing, we're hungry, we're mean, we everything that a fighter needs to be to win this title. I mean, May 10th, come out. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Danny boy. Come on up here, Danny boy.
Not another applause. I also want to, Don, I can't believe you're making me do this, okay? But I'm more than willing. Let me see, right here. No, that's not the flag I want. I'm just gonna. I want to thank the WBC, World Boxing Council, out of Mexico. Recent passing of Jose Sulaiman, I know, was one of his dreams to see a Mexican that could eventually win the heavyweight championship of the world. All the years that we've had the great heavyweights, 100+ years, and all the great champions, never ever one from Mexican descent or, in Bermane's case, Haitian descent. So a big thank you to Jose, who recently passed away, and his son Mauricio, who's now representing the WBC as its president. And the supervisor here today is Dr. Robert Carnes, who was a former physician at ringside. Doc, good having you here. One other introduction I want to make, you know, you had Daniel, okay, which probably just came out of the lion's den from what I can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daniel, that's my name too.
Absolutely, yes.
But I wanted to introduce a young man who we recently signed, just had a fight on ESPN last Friday, came out victorious, one of the top 154 pounders in the world, Vanes Maritrosyan. So now we get to the fighters, which is always the best part. Since you don't want to listen to me, Don you want to listen to. I've been listening to him for 30 years. And always interesting to hear Don. But where the real action is are the fighters, the athletes. And there's, you know, in my 30+ years, I've had a lot of tough guys out there. And we heard it a little while ago with Bermane's manager, how tough Chris Arreola is. And the one drawback that we've always had with Chris to get to that mountaintop was the mindset of doing everything it would take to win that fight. Now, when he gets inside that ring, despite what he does outside of it, he gives that attitude to do everything it takes to win that fight. The problem is that he's had a tendency throughout the years not to give himself the best shot at doing it by not being in the best shape of his life. And that goes back many years, many years. And we don't have to talk about it here any longer because the press know it here. But Don keeps on mentioning Seth Mitchell. And the reason why that fight was so well handled by Chris, because it was the first time in many years he went to a training camp out in Arizona, and it did him well. I mean, there's something to say about an athlete, a businessman, anybody who knows that in his mind he did everything it took to accomplish what he was trying to get accomplished. And now having Chris in San Diego, you know, he could sit here and tell you that he's going to be in shape as he has throughout the years. Didn't really mean much. Sitting here telling you he's going to be in shape now and train like a world-class athlete, you're going to be able to believe him. It won't be hyperbole. It won't be a sales pitch. It's going to be something that he knows what he has to do to beat Stiverne May 10th at USC Galen Center. So from that instant, when you have the toughness and the guts and the willpower and the mindset to overcome anything that is in your way on May 10th, with the conditioning behind it, nothing will stop Chris Arreola on May 10th. We've got to go out there, train hard, and win this fight, and bring that championship right here to California, the United States of America, on ESPN, here at the USC Galen Center. I want to bring up the nightmare, Chris Arreola. Chris.
How's everybody doing? First of all, I want to thank everybody for being out here. ESPN, the worldwide network of sports. We're going to be showcasing heavyweights, again, where we belong. You know, no more MMA. We don't need to be watching that. We're boxers. Boxing's a sport that's been around for years and years and years. I want to thank Dan, Goosen, and Don King to finally getting the date together. I'm ready for this fight. I've been waiting for this fight right after I got out that ring and got my ass kicked by Bermane Stiverne. There's nothing to say. I'm not going to blame my condition, nothing like that. I got caught by a punch that I didn't see coming. And that's what happens when you fight a world-class athlete like Bermane Stiverne. I should have been my P's and Q's the whole time, but I wasn't, got caught. It is what it is. He beat my butt. Now, that being said, my nose was broken after the third round. I was wounded. I was easy. I should have been out of that fight. Any round after that, he should have stopped me. Personally, I'm not that kind of a fighter. If I see someone wounded, I see someone hurt, I'm taking his ass out. That's my intention to do on May 10th, is to do to him what he did to me. I respect him. I respect him a lot. I can shake his hand right now, shake his hand after the fight. We're gentlemen. But in the ring, I don't like him. That's the way it is. I respect him. I'm not going to like him in the ring. He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. I guarantee you May 10th, I'm going to come out with my hand raised. Hope you guys enjoy the fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Dan had a soliloquy that was just above and beyond the call of duty. And so he leaves us with a question as to which Chris do we believe? It's a this is what makes it, this is what you call pragmatism, this is realism. This is what people do, you know what I mean? Because that's how they work, you know what I mean? And I respect Chris Arreola very, very much, and he proved that he's a great fighter. And for whatever the mistakes and whatever that transpired in that first encounter, that you have to understand is what athleticism is about. When people go in there, in boxing, when you go in that ring, you can't call timeout and send in a substitute. If you run out of petrol, there's no gas station in sight. You cannot procrastinate. That's why boxing is so much like life. You can't put your problems off to tomorrow. Your problem is right there before you. And you must deal with it, you know, and you have to deal with it in a manner that is immediately, you know, something, if you speak Espanol, inmediatamente. You got to be able to, you ain't got no time to be saying, put it off to tomorrow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to deal with what is real, because boxing is the closest thing to life that you'll ever see. You get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off, and get back into the game. And so this is what makes heavyweight boxing so renowned. And either way, this fight is going to be a fight. And that you can see from what Chris is doing, whatever he changed in his ways, reconnoiter the area and deploys forces and attack again. But he's going up against a young Tyson, so to speak, because you haven't seen a fraction of what this man represents here. You know what I mean? And so it is, Bermane is an individual that works very hard, got a great team, and is getting himself together, and truly, you know what I mean, it's going to be such a wonderful fight. The slogan that really stimulates the magical words of boxing is, when is the next one? That is when you know you have a show, when they can come to the promoter and go out and they go talking to each other, the fans, because that's really what it's all about. It's giving the fans what they want, and they will respond. They will get a fight this time, and it will be pure six knockdown brawl. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you will have a new champion of the world. And when he spoke about Jose Sulaiman is smiling now from heaven, because he was dedicated and committed to being able to keep the WBC in the forefront as the largest and the best organization in the world. And we're going to give him a 10 bell count on this fight, paying homage to this memory of this great man for boxing from the WBC. And his son, Mauricio Sulaiman, is the president now of the WBC. So all will be done proud. But rest assured, you know what I mean? Fight, you can never tell in a heavyweight fight if anybody get hit or don't get hit or whatever happens, you know, anything can happen. But I would say, in the looking at Bermane and the way that he has handled himself and how he's growing, the evolutionary process gives Chris two great chances, Slim and none. And Slim's out of time. So you got to be able to understand, but the gratification, superb. You know what I mean? The excitement in the air, unparalleled. You know what I mean? The anticipation, you know, bated breath. You know what I mean? But in the end result, the champion of the world and the new heavyweight champion of the world, Bermane Stiverne. You know what I mean? Come on up, champ. Come on up, champ. Oh, yes, Invictus, hear my cry. Victory. Victory is ours, Invictus. Yes, Daniel was in the lion's den and he came out. Jonah's in the belly of the whale. Talk to him, baby. Oh, yes, P, and you're one enough. Oh,
It's a pleasure to be here once again in California. What can I say? First of all, I want to thank a special thank you to ESPN. That's actually my first time being involved with the network. I've been involved with the network, but not ESPN. So thank you to Dan Newton, TKP, my manager, Camille, House, my trainer, Victor, the whole team. Listen, May 10th, I will be crowned the heavyweight champion of the world.
how long? Not long.
It's not about shape. It's about skills. I have better skills, and I'm always in shape. I don't have anything personal against Chris. I do think that the best heavyweight out there today is Chris and I. This fight won't be, what's the word? No.
All be the same result.
No, what was called?
I'm searching everywhere.
It was, anyway, some funny fights that happened a while ago. And it won't be choreographed. This won't be a real fight, you know? I will be crowned heavyweight champion. It won't be, I'm not saying that I'm going to walk over Chris easily or walk in the park. It's going to be hard because I know what Chris going to bring to the table. I've been watching Chris since ever, you know. So it's going to be a good fight. And I'm really happy that we'll be able to bring that type of fight for the fans, unlike other fights. I got nothing else to say. I mean, this is it. This is the biggest crown in sport history. We're talking about the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. You know, my mind is set, my body is set. The only thing we gotta wait now is the date to come. And May 10th is gonna be a great night. It's gonna be a fantastic night, and I can't wait to be crowned the heavyweight champion of the world. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. If that's what it's going to be, the heavyweight championship of the world, taking place on May 10th here at the center, the Galen Center. And it's going to be something kind of different. As I said, it's going to be great. And we got, you know, Bill Kaplan, he's always there, you know what I mean? He found my ring when I lost it, you know, 50 years ago, you know what I mean? So he's always ever vigilant. And he's there working hard, and so it's going to be excitement in the air. And we're going to make things happen for each and every one of you. So we got stories for everybody that's here to create the excitement, because the excitement is already here. All we can do is embellish upon it. And we're going to do that. Yes, Bill?
Don, no one has promoted heavyweights like you. When promoted Foreman, you promoted Tyson, you promoted Ali, and then when Tyson went to the Gray Bar Hotel, you promoted 3 heavyweight champions simultaneously. Then when Tyson got out, bing, 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 he knocked them all out. And so you are the premier promoter of heavyweights in the world ever. Could you just say a little something about heavyweights and your history, and bring it back to the United States and Canada?
Well, let me say this. Thank you very much for asking the question. The heavyweights, as they say, and it's been in boxing, as they go, so goes boxing. You have a lot of great little guys like you have that today that's carried the banner, you know what I mean, with the Floyd Mayweather. And but the idea of it is the heavyweight sets the tones for boxing. You left out one great champion that I think you'd be remiss if you didn't mention him, and that's Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was what had a piston-like jab. He was the man that was I never say die attitude. And when he went in there against Ken Norton, it was unbelievable, you know what I mean? That jab, and his hand was hurt, his shoulder was hurt, but he went on and fought anyway. So that was dedication and commitment. But out of the heavyweights that are there, from Muhammad Ali, who I started right at the top, I can never say that I worked my way up. I started with Muhammad Ali, you know what I mean, and kept him there because Muhammad Ali is the one who prevailed upon me to go into boxing after I got him to do a charity affair in Cleveland, Ohio. And so to help keep a hospital open that was servicing the poor whites and black community. And so it was, segregation was at its height, you know, and so it was one of those things that you had, and he came in and he fought 4 or 5 guys that evening, and it really was a tremendous advent, and the rest is history because he prevailed upon me to go into the sport of boxing. But in the heavyweights are the glorious one. They lead the pack, and this is what you're going to be able to bear witness to on this night. From Tyson, from Ken Norton, from Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, when they went to Africa, George Foreman said he didn't really want to go and fight Muhammad Ali because he said if he beat the old man, everybody's going to condemn him. And he says that besides that, he talks too much. I say, that's it, George. Let's shut his mouth. I said, he talks too much. And on that court, I walked George up and down the avenue from the hotel to the gas station, back to the hotel, and I got him to agree that he would come in to shut Muhammad's mouth up. You know what I mean? And so this way we got a chance to get the Rumble in the Jungle. And the Rumble in the Jungle then led to the Thriller in Manila with Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe Frazier. And I just talked to Imelda Marcos a couple weeks ago, and she's waiting for me to come to the Philippines now because they want to do something as a fundraiser for the victims of the storm that took place there several months ago. And so we're going to do that. And so hopefully we'll be able to take a heavyweight championship back, another Thriller in Manila, something that will really be able to stimulate and provoke the interest of all the people. She told me that the Thriller in Manila put Manila on the map, and that the president, her husband, the late president of Ferdinand Marcos, you know what I mean, always said that he was endeared to boxing because the Thriller in Manila really put Manila on the map. So throughout those who have witnessed and bear witness to the great battles of World War II for Corregidor, Bataan, Iwo Jima, you know, it's going to be a kind of a battle here in May 10th. And when you see this type of battle that's taking place here on May 10th, victory is imminent. You know what I mean? All we can holler is how long, and we can say not long is the response, because it ain't but a matter of minutes before we be in that ring here at the Galen Center, and history will be made and it will come to live and living color. But the heavyweights is a glorious. If you have not seen it, when you see really heavyweight boxing for that world championship, which we have been denied for so long. And so I want everyone to come and be a part of this here and to bear witness to this great event in which we will crown this young man champion. That means he got to fight everybody in the world. They go right around the circle, and naturally we're going to give Chris an opportunity because he deserves it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he is, well, he say the best tools out here. But I know Dan is anxious because he's gave that rousing speech, you know, but don't hit me in the kidneys, Dan. You know, that's for Chris to do to him.
I feel we're attached. Don, I just want to say one thing, and I always like it when Bill Kaplan knows how to extend our satellite time. We've got like 13 more minutes for everyone to ask questions of the fighters and of you before we go off the air.
We can extend that time, man. You got Dave Brown here. Are you kidding? The biggest press conference in the history of boxing in the last 20 years, and you're going to sit here and talk about we got 13 more minutes of satellite time?
You know what? You bring up a good point.
They're the losers if they don't see it.
No, you're damn right.
You bring up a good point. Man.
Send the bill to Don's office.
Yeah, I'm not about to bill. Money, man. Money don't mean nothing. You got to fight for your rights. Without your rights, you ain't got nothing. That's why I fight for the women's rights. You know what I mean? Because they got to have that equality, man. You know, you talk all that jive, and then the woman, she's considered an instrument of pleasure. Give that woman her rights, man. I'm telling you, when you start talking about it,
dressed like a man today.
No, but you are man. Oh. You are man, but and you know what? You have such great respect and such pride, such justification in your movements and your action. So let's give the women their rights. You know what I mean? Rights is what counts. Yes, darling, she's a beautiful woman there, and she has to.
I agree.
Yeah, all right, I mean, just get it. Don't worry about nothing. Everything gonna be all right. We don't try to get guys that USC here, man. Greatest goddamn school in the world. We sit there, and anybody that turn it off, they lose. We don't lose.
Well, let's ask Mr. Peskin if he's ready to bring some pastrami here too. Then.
Yeah, Mr. Peskin did a marvelous job. His food was like ambrosia, food for the gods. I just can't say nothing, but that's why Adventures is here, because we're gonna make an event out of this. You know what I mean? But then we're gonna make an event out of this. So I was excited.
Don, you do know that the tickets, I know that they want to know how much those tickets are, okay?
Yes, very moderately priced. Very.
300, 200, 100, 50, and 25.
$25.
Yes, you know it's a steal. But you know what? We got to give them a break too, because the thieves got to live.
On the 405.
You can't get mad at nobody. If you would give them a right, they wouldn't have to be stealing. You know what I mean? You know, that's what they do. That we create the crime, you know what I mean, and make the victim the criminal.
And you know that the doors open at 3.
Oh man.
On a Saturday, which is great.
That is so, the Sabbath. That is so great. Saturday time, you know, shut on the microphone.
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, yeah, you know, just get it before dark, it's before 5, you know what I mean? But this is why this is gonna be one of the great fights, because now we're standing up. And who enabled us to stand up for our rights and fight, like Patrick Henry and the rest of them? As for what course others may take, I know not. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. All right, now, ESPN did that. You know what I mean? And ESPN came from Getty. You remember Getty?
Of course,
you
of
know Getty.
course.
That's why it wasn't nobody else. ESPN and Getty had it.
They've got a Getty
And
center up there.
they should have one. You know what I mean? And I took Getty's son to Africa with me. You know that. Back then, now he's dead.
I do now.
When in Africa, Getty's son went with me over to Africa and was there because they had kidnapped him and they cut off one of his ears. So everybody got mad that Tyson was biting the ear, but the crooks cut off Getty's ear. And they sent the ear back to the family. You know what I
And
mean?
we're gonna finish that story May 10th.
May 10th, it's just the beginning. It's a new beginning.